Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the LFM Marketing Symposium. I have the lovely Angela Brooks here today. She is amazing and wonderful, and I admire her so much. I've known her for 6 or 7 years online. We actually met in person once in Chicago, and I followed her from afar and just love her. And when I decided to do the La Femme Marketing Symposium, she's one of the very first people that came to my mind because her story is so cool. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you. I can't believe it's been 6 or 7 years, but it has been a long time.
It has been a long time, so I'm very excited. And one of the things that I want to share with you all before I tell you about what Angela is going to be sharing with us is so juicy today, and I want to share her bio, of course. Is I love Angela. She's very authentic, and I love her accent. I mean, so cute, and she's always happy, and that's super important to me. So welcome again. Angela is going to be sharing with us how to stand out in your marketing, which is huge today because so many people are going online. And then I want to share with you a little bit about Angela. She's very, very unique. She's a retired nurse. She spent 25 and a half years in mental health at a state facility. And here's the thing. She was told she could not build a business with just social media marketing and her blog. Guess what? She built a six-figure business. She has had record months in her business, a team volume of over 1.5 million in sales a month. That's a huge feat. She's had $5,000 days, and she averages about $600 days in her business while she's generating her own leads for her business with a blog, social media, and digital marketing. She has shared the stage with marketing professionals like Gary Vaynerchuk, Kim Garst, Ray Higdon, Jimmy Nelson, Nadia and John Melton, and Bob Heilig. So as you can tell, she's one amazing go-getter. So welcome.
Thank you. When you say that list of people, it's like, wow, just to be on stage with them are amazing.
I know. Well, so when you guys started online, what did you do differently than most? I mean, you've done pretty well for yourself. So
Not
share.
bad. um, I was told, like you said, that I couldn't build a network marketing business online. Because back in 2010, when I started, it was not popular back then. And I still worked midnight shift. I worked 13-hour shifts a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, except I had two boys that didn't let me sleep a lot when I got home. So I worked on maybe 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And I had to do something because when I got off work, I was at baseball practice, I was at soccer practice, and I didn't have time for the meeting thing, which I'm not the meeting gal at all. That kind of makes my skin crawl. Knew I wasn't going to go there. So I used Facebook, which was relatively new. I think it showed up about 2008-ish maybe. And I just thought, I'm just going to see if I can do it this way, which everybody said I couldn't. But I just stayed very consistent and did lifestyle posts. I didn't know they were lifestyle posts back then, but that's what I did. And it worked for me. It drew in a very lovely crowd of people that have followed me for a long time, which is fun.
Right. And, you had mentioned, before when we were talking offline, you had mentioned two things that I think are really important, and I'd like you to share and expand upon those with the women here. You talked about how you're just real, like you're very down to earth, Angela, and you're very authentic in your lifestyle posts. And the other thing you told me was you're very consistent. Can you share a little bit more about that with our viewers today?
Well, when I started in business, everybody has this business view that you've got to put on a suit and a tie and, you've got to dress a certain way. And I did for a while, but I found that that was so not me that it made me uncomfortable in my own skin. And I refuse to live outside of my boundaries where I'm not comfortable. It's just not going to happen. So when I started dressing me and I started bringing me to my business instead of trying to, this so-so person, people really related to me more. And sharing my lifestyle posts that I was a real mom, that I was cooking supper, that I didn't have somebody doing everything for me and I was actually doing the grind of business, they followed me going, how are you doing this? You're still working, which a lot of people think that as soon as you get in business, you quit your job and, you know, shift everything. But I didn't. I brought my life into my business instead of taking my business, taking over my life. But I stayed very consistent on social media, posted lifestyle posts. If I was sitting at the ball field blogging, that's what I would post about. But I didn't try to be somebody I wasn't, because that's just, I can't do it. It's just not me.
And I love that. And that's what's so cool. And that's one of the things I wanted to share. Angela had shared with me, hey, right before we got on this call, she was like, you know, I was mowing the lawn and I took a picture of my blackberries. And I'm like, oh my God. I love that because it's real. I grew up on a farm,
Yeah.
so I totally can relate to that. But the other thing that I love is blackberries. So it brings me back to, yeah, I grew up on this farm and we always had a million blackberries and we made blackberry pies.
Oh yeah.
So,
They're almost there.
can I come?
Yes, I have lots of them.
Right. So I relate to that. Like that's a part of my childhood that was really amazing. And
Yes.
so I think it's really important when you're building your tribe to, and speak to this, Angela, to really be authentic on who you are, no matter what you are, whether you're a beach bum, you live a luxurious lifestyle, or that's what you're
Yes.
looking towards, or you hire people, or you don't hire people, or if you live on a farm, or if you work a job still. Like, I think that's okay. I think that it's okay. What do you,
Yeah.
like, talk a little bit about the fact that some people, I think that everybody have to like you online, and share. I have a lot to say about that, but I want your opinion on
When I first got online, and yeah, I got my first hate mail, as we call it, you know, there's haterade out there for everybody. And you can learn from that, or you can let it eat you. And I decided to take what it was that she did not like about me. And she was very descriptive. And I'm like, thanks. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, you know, because your bad day doesn't mean I'm going to have one. So I had to say, you know, what was it she didn't like? Do I need to shift something? Did I say something wrong? Do I need to apologize? Or is it just because she doesn't like my style? And not everybody's going to like us. And that's okay, because in person, not everybody's going to like you in person either. So that's okay. Literally back in April, I went to an event and I had this woman run up to me who had sent me some ugly mail, really ugly mail. And, you know, I removed her from all my social stuff. I didn't want to read in my stuff. You're gone. She came running up to me, went to the event because she knew I was going to be there. She was like 20 miles away from this event, paid $400 for a ticket to get into my circle. And she runs up to me and she goes, Angela, I know you don't know who I am. And I'm like, are you a creeper or what's wrong? And she goes, no, I wanted to apologize to you. And I'm like, that's a mighty expensive apology. She goes, I've never been so embarrassed in all my life. Then she was a great person. But she said, I judged you from a distance and I didn't know you. And I'm like, cool. She said, I can't even believe you're standing here talking to me. I'm like, you know, whatever.
that. Wow.
But that was huge. That was very, but people judge you because they think that you're different than them. And I am straight up a mom. I'm a country girl. I may cuss a little, but I still love Jesus. And I'm just not going to be somebody I'm not. But I think if you, like you said, if you're a beach bum, whatever it is you are, bring that. That is, you are your biggest brand. I don't care if you're living in a mansion or living in a tent. That's who you are. And that's what people relate to the most. I don't know. Authentic just rules.
It
People
really
like real.
does.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're gonna get haters out there. I've actually been attacked like by three huge people in my online career at different times. And I'm telling you, none of the times, this was so funny. It's like they think that they knew what they were talking about and they never came to me and said, is this what it's all about? And I would have said, no, that's not. You're totally missing whatever. They didn't come to me and have a conversation, right?
Yes.
And so what I learned from that, the very first time it happened, it like crushed me. And I'm like, this lady who I admire thinks I'm that kind of person, but she just had to ask me, and that's not the way that this whole thing was, right? Like
Yes.
building with something stupid and small anyways, right? The point is I learned very quickly that people will say all kinds of stuff. They feel safe behind the keyboard. And the more visible you get, and I'm going to have Angela answer a few more questions, the more you'll get haters and you'll get people that don't like you. And really, I think being visible online is you want to attract your tribe and repel everybody else.
Yep. Because if we, well, and you know, if you go into a room of 500 people, you're not going to speak to everybody in the room. You're going to talk to a small circle of people. And those people are going to attract to you. Like when I go to events, people come to me. I don't have to go to them, which is I'm very gracious and honored that people even know my name when I go to a big event. If I walk into a room of 500, there's somebody hollering at me and I'm like, where do I know you from? Tell me your name. You know, everybody looks different off of social media, but they'll tell me their story or what I've done for them. And it's like, that is just a passion. That's amazing. But I'm so grateful for that. But the ones who don't like me, they're not going to come talk to me, and it's okay. But we can't be the most popular kid on the block all the time.
No, you can't. So, you know, one of the things that I want to ask you is, and I know you've gotten big over the years, but can you share how you get your current customers or clients, or even the process of when you first started? Like, what does that look like for you, and how would you recommend other people do it now?
I use social media as a curiosity post. If I'm going to post something on social media, you never want to give away the whole ball of wax, as they say. I don't use my company name. I don't use the name of my products. They know what product I use. And I talk about it as in value and benefits of what the product does. I don't say, oh, this is my company and I'm not wearing the t-shirt, I'm not wearing the hat, I'm not packing the bag. I talk about the benefits because people really don't care what the juice, how many berries, how many antioxidants is in a product. What is that juice going to do for me? How's it going to make me feel? So when people find out that you're actually educating and teaching, and I usually end a post that I'm trying to draw people in with was, if you want to know more, message me, or if I'll say something in the post to make them send me a message. Because once they are in a private message, that's when we can interact. In the last Wednesday, I did a post that generated 140 leads in 48 hours.
Wow, share.
And so that, I wish I would have copied that post. But that post had a blog post in it where I talked about why Facebook is not sharing your page, why you're not getting any likes or comments on your post. And it's because that if you were going down through Facebook and just liking stuff and you're not making actual comments and interacting, Facebook will squish your profile. And that's just part of their analytics. That's just what they do. But if you're commenting and talking to people, they're going to pull you up in that feed higher and you're going to get more interaction. That single one blog post had over 10,000 reads in that 48 hours.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Did you actually put, when you said blog post, you put type this big long thing in your Facebook description?
Short. It'll be short.
It was short.
It'll be short. I wish I could find it real quick. But it was short, sweet. It gave, I'm snarky. I like to give snarky posts because people, I don't know, I can post alcohol, I can say a cuss word or be snarky, and I get tons of comments. So that tells me what my tribe is.
That's awesome.
But those are the things that really draw people in, and it's relatable. But it was, I gave the link to that post, said, if you want to know why Facebook is not showing your stuff. And I mean, the comments just rolled. It was, I was busy for 2 days, but I like that. But I had 148 leads come into my list off of that.
Now, when you say come into your list, did you actually have something where you're like, if you want more information, send me a private message, or was your call to action more opt into blah, blah, blah?
My information was to send me a message. If you want to know more, send me a message. And I did. Yes, very casual. And then when they get in the conversation, hey, thanks for liking my post. I appreciate that. What was it you liked the most? And they're going to tell you. And
Right.
it's like, I have other tips if you would like to have them. I never, ever give a link until they give me permission. And once they come into your messenger, they're going to give you permission because they're already curious.
Right.
So that was actually, I even had to stop answering messages because Facebook gave me a warning that I needed to slow down. So I had to go have dinner, chill out, and then come back and finish answering. So,
That's beautiful. That's amazing. So it's really, so there's a couple great golden nuggets here. One, when you're like engaging with people, make sure you comment and you actually
yes,
engage. Number
yes.
two, you keep it more casual and real friendly, like a conversation, like you're getting to know someone. And when they
Mhm.
private message you, that's when you would send a link, but you always ask their permission first.
Yes,
I,
because if you was to post, go straight to Messenger and send a link, you'll see their little face down here that says they read it, but they won't necessarily talk to you. They're like, oh, she's done spammed me with this link.
right.
Once you get permission based, they look at you completely different. I had 4 new clients come in out of those 140 leads. They opted in like we never had a phone conversation. It was just Messenger. 4 new clients opted in and 2 new product customers.
That's amazing. Oh my
So I liked it.
God. And it's all organic too.
It's all organic. Yep.
Is a beautiful, Angela. Amazing. So, wow. Um, where do you find leaders for your team? I'm curious to know. And can you tell the people that are watching, like you basically have one business, but can you describe? I know you blog, but you also have your team and your business, and you sell
Mhm.
products. You share a little bit about that, and then walk us through the process how you find good leaders, because I think that's
Actually,
important.
oh yeah. And actually, because I've got 10,000 people on my team,
Mm-hmm.
and in that 10,000 people, there's a nugget. There's amazing people underneath you. Even if you had 100 or 50, you've got a nugget in that group of people. What I learned from a woman who makes $1 million a month, I'm going to listen to what she has to say. She was coming to me about how to build on social media, and in return, without exchanging money, we swapped knowledge. And hers, she taught me how to tap down into my people who were already in my business. Instead of going out and try to find somebody fresh, I started tapping down, looking for leaders that were, on a monthly order, that was trying, you could tell they were trying to build, they were being consistent. Then I would, send them a message, say, hey, is there something I can help you with? And I started working with them one-on-one, showing them some social tips or how to make their blog look better, or maybe they weren't blogging at all, and I taught them how to blog. But I started tapping down into my own group, and I have found amazing people. And
Wonderful.
as a matter of fact, a lot of times people are shocked that you pick up the phone and call them and check on them. She's going, I can't even believe you're talking to me. And I'm like, why not? She's going, because you're like my upline. You're not supposed to talk to me. And I'm like, yes, I am. That's my job. I'm supposed to help you. So that even encourages them even more, is because they know that I believe in them, or I can see something in them. So tap into your team and start looking there first, instead of going to get a cold market person that you've got to talk to about the product and impress about the product.
Would you feel like that applies to, so I know that's like a network marketing multi-level. So say that so that is awesome. And that is a great tip, because there's so many women that are watching that is their business.
Yeah.
What not, would you say that that would also apply to women that are coaches, for example, like
Oh, yeah.
you're a lifestyle coach? Tap into your existing network, your existing groups that
Mm-hmm.
you already have these relationships with,
Yep.
looking for leaders, looking for your next ideal client, versus going out and having to spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, which are still great. And that still is a great
Yeah.
option too.
Yes. And a lot of people overlook things that are right in front of us
Mhm.
because we're so busy looking out there to find the bigger, better things, when there's a whole lot of folks that we have right in our circle that if you start looking who's around you, and look at their qualities, look what they're trying to do. If you're a coach, your skill should be is to see somebody's potential that they don't see.
True.
And I've got a new client. She has been a school teacher for 18 years. She's a mother of 6 who has raised all 6 children, have gone to college and become like pilots and pharmacists and doctors. And all of her children were these. And I'm like, excuse me, you need to be blogging about how to be this amazing mom. And she goes, but I was just doing me. And I'm like, that's what people want to know.
Exactly.
So she didn't see that potential. And so I'm excited to see her grow. That'll be fun.
Really exciting. Now, when you share with her, so I know I ask a million questions, but I think the ladies want to hear. So when you tell, say, this school teacher, she authentically raised 6 amazing children that went on to do great things.
Yep.
When you tell her to blog, are you saying like set up a blog like angelabrooks.com kind of blog and like blog that way, or more just like sharing like blog posts on Facebook kind of thing?
She started out doing Facebook posts.
Okay.
And she started talking about writing a book. And I'm like, if you're going to do a book, then you can start doing blog posts and find out what people want to know about you. See which posts that's how I wrote my book. Right. I blogged those stories out. The ones that got the most hits, the most attention, most comments is what I put into the book. So we set her up a very basic, nothing fancy. Hers is just a weblog to where she can write her story. Okay. And it's going to start trickling out there as she grows it. So it may grow into something bigger later, but right now it's just straight up web blog. So she's writing.
Which is fabulous, right?
Yes.
Like, you can do it a zillion different ways, but it's just putting it out there.
Yep.
And then you share that on your social media.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So she's going, this is worse than my master's degree. And I'm like, no, it's not.
That's so funny. So how important is training for your business?
I just don't believe that you can really shift your mind. Your mindset training to me is just so huge because we are all programmed to think like an employee and not the CEO. It's kind of hard to build a business with an employee mindset to the next level of any kind of marketing because you're in permission base. Can I have the day off? Can I have a vacation? Can I work this shift and not this? And as a CEO, we have to learn that we have to make all the decisions. And I think that has been my biggest asset is the education I've gotten from different coaches, because I've coached for 4, maybe 5 different coaches, and each one of them I've learned something different, similar but different at the same time. And coaches see things in you that you can't see in yourself. Sure. Me and Ray Higdon had this conversation back in April, and he had put me on his stage, which I was like blown away and super honored that I was sitting next to him on his stage, even having a conversation. And I was like, I don't know what to say. And he's going, please, you got all kinds of content you can share. And I'm like, I'm just bringing me to the stage. And he goes, I don't care if you wear tennis shoes. Come on.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
But, I think a coach sees things bigger than you can ever look in the mirror because you see the old you and not the person that you can be.
Exactly. So, when you share with me your story and where you're at, I see a few big takeaways that you've shared really with marketing. One, and really stand out is don't be afraid to share your life, blog about things, comment and engage with other people, and really be super authentic and be consistent.
Build those relationships.
Build the relationships. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I have a question for you, and I would love your transparency. Do you do all of your your posts and stuff yourself, or do you have any help? Do you have an assistant, or do you? Yeah.
That's mine. That's me. That's all me. Every post that goes out there, I put out. I have people in the background that help me with tech stuff. I did finally outsource that. That's something a business coach was like, you have to start outsourcing. You can't do all this yourself. And I'm like, but I like it. I enjoy it. And he was like, no, you have to start outsourcing. So my tech team helps me do my different pages, or, the fancy stuff in my marketing. I no longer run my Facebook ads. I've got somebody who is doing that. All I have to do for my videos now is I show up and I do the video. They take care of it. But all the social media stuff is mine. I refuse to give that up.
Well,
Because I'm afraid somebody would change my voice or say something that would look like a robot, and I don't want that. I want that to stay clearly me.
well, it's so funny because I mean, I have 4 different people that help me with different things. And I had someone today say, well, because I'm like, I market every morning 5 to 8. Like, that is my thing. I enjoy it. It's what I do. And she said to me, well, Angela, why don't you um, hire someone to help you with some of that? And I'm like, no, that's my voice. Like,
Yeah.
then I thought about it. I'm like, well, there's actually some posting things that are already pre-written that they could post, but for the most part, like 90% of it,
It's me.
that's me.
Yes. I've got a lady that helps me take all of the titles off of my blog and puts the links into a document that rolls through Twitter. Now,
Right.
she does that for me, because Twitter I just check in there a couple of times a week because that's not as busy for me as Facebook. But yeah, I just can't give up my voice because I don't want somebody to alter that or for them to reply in a way that I wouldn't want somebody to reply to.
Exactly.
That was important.
Super, super important. Well, that's amazing. So, Angela, I know that you have a free gift for people. Do you mind telling people what that gift is? And of course, they'll be able to download it here
Yes.
as well.
You can go to angelabrook.com/Giles, Giles.
Woo!
And that is a cool name, don't you think? But you're going to get social media tips of how to not be that slimy salesperson. You can download it, you can print it off, whatever you want to do. But that is going to give you, it's a little short ebook, 3 or 4 pages, that can help you use your social media so that you're more authentic, so that you're talking to your ideal clients and not trying to be anything that you're not. Because I believe that if you bring you to the marketplace, that you're going to have much more success than you are if you try to be some stiff suit and tie person.
Exactly. And if you're a
So,
stiff suit and tie person, then stay a stiff suit and tie person. That's you, right?
that's right.
I'm not.
No,
Don't
that's
be
not
Angela
me.
and I, because we're like farm girls, right?
That's right.
But I still like to dress up and be and all that too. That's
You
fun.
have to every now and then, but on the average, we like to be comfortable.
You just like to be who you are, and that's the
Yeah.
whole takeaway here, right? Be
Yes.
who you are. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. And as you evolve and you change, be whoever that person is, but be true to you, I think. And
Yes. Because as you grow your business, you're going to shift. You're going to change without a doubt. Because I feel like I'm totally different from when we met 6 years ago.
oh yeah, and
Think different. I do different, and I like it. So
exactly. And I'm so different. It's amazing, right? We met, I was all over the place because I was finding myself.
you were
Um,
new. It was new.
well, it was all new. I had actually been online for a while, but I was back then the chaser of every golden object, shiny object that came around. And then I
What?
learned, no, I stick to marketing and I can chase the objects in a more controlled fashion
There
now.
you go. There
So
you go.
yes, it's so fun. Well, Angela, it has been my absolute pleasure to have you on board today. I have one final question for you before we let you go, and that is this. If there's, because I love this, I love actionable things. If there's one takeaway that you could give the ladies that are watching today that they could take away and implement in their business today, what would that thing be?
That one thing. Be so consistent in your marketing that they know you're going to show up every day. I don't care if you are posting a picture of coffee at 6 a.m. Every morning at 6 a.m. post your coffee. You will be so surprised how many people will have coffee with you. I'll give you a quick example. Is I had a lady who her husband had cancer. I didn't know this person. And she said every morning when they got up and got his day started, she was having coffee and was checking her social media. And she said, I had coffee with you every day. And I'm like, oh, melt me right in my shoes. And I thought, nobody even cared if I was having coffee, but she did. So we're shifting for somebody. So be so consistent. They know you're going to show up.
I love that. Oh, Angela, what a great story. So ladies, LFMS, as my brand is, get out there, show up every single day. If it's coffee, whatever it is, if it's you mowing your lawn in your tennis shoes, right? Or picking your weeds, show up, right?
Show up. Bring your weeds to your market.
Bring your weeds to your market, or take your pictures of your blackberries, right? You just don't know who you're going to be serving and uplifting that day. So
never know.
Exactly. Well, Angela, it has been my absolute pleasure. And thank you so much. It is such an honor to have you. And for those of you who watch this episode, stay tuned for the next incredible La Femme interview. And we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.